power of the dark side.
But you know, happiness can be found even in the darkest of time. If one only remembers to turn on the light.
The beacons have been city! The beacons are lit!
Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death.
Remember it well, then, this night.
For in those memories, we live on.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
Call the banners.
All of them, my lord.
They've all sworn to defend my father, have they not?
They have.
Now we'll see what the words are worth.
But take heart. Look around you. You're not in this fight alone. We face our enemy together. And together, we will defeat them.
By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand! Men of the West!
What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
Damien, how you doing today?
Doing well, brother. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I had a great day at work. I had a great day yesterday because we got some pretty fucking awesome trailers and some really shitty ones.
One shitty one, right?
Yeah, just one, really. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about this shit. I was hoping to actually. You put it in the Discord. I was also going to discuss, or we were also going to discuss what's it called, the Terminator anime.
Yeah, a little bit. I think there's not much.
Out.
There's not much we were going to discuss on it, but
yeah, I was hoping that there would be a like a trailer or a teaser or something, but I guess all we have are these images. Is that right?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's exactly it. I'm not like yourself. I'm not the biggest. Like, I liked the original Terminator movies, but I'm not the biggest like Terminator fan out there. I just thought like it'd be interesting too, based on he's the same guy's writing what's it called, the Aegon series, right?
Yeah. So what is this guy's name? This is one of the reasons why Sundowners is always very helpful. As annoying as he can be, he always has the name. Hang on 1 second.
Now, in terms of the actual show, I actually think it could do fairly well as an animation, just with what the context of the series is about, right? Like,
Mattson Tomlin is the name of the guy. He was originally one of the uncredited writers on Matt Reeves' Batman movie.
Okay.
And then I guess Warner and Matt Reeves enjoyed what he did so much that they made him a credited writer on the sequel. And then HBO came calling and said, "Hey, we want you to write the the pilot for Aegon." Now, a couple months ago, and I talked about this probably 3 or 4 months ago, the Batman sequel movie got delayed, and there wasn't, as far as I could tell, I did a little bit, like I didn't, deep dive or do a bunch of weird investigative stuff, but as far as I could tell, the only thing that had changed was Mattson Tomlin getting another job. There was no what's the name of the guy that played the Penguin?
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, nothing happened with Colin Farrell. Nothing happened with Pattinson, the dude that played Paul. What's his name that played
Paul Dano?
Yeah, nothing happened with him. So there's no other reason for it to get delayed except for I think Matt Tomlin hit something on the head, and Warner was like, "Okay, we're gonna refocus you."
Yeah.
What's up, Spud? It has been a little bit. Glad to see you here, man. But I'm really excited about that because if we pull up his Twitter, Matt Tomlin. Let's go to people so we can find him. I should probably follow him so that I see these things more. But he tweeted something out the other day, which was it's a little, I like to think these people are a little cryptic sometimes. So obviously he's retweeting and talking about all the Terminator stuff. But he tweeted this picture out. Weekend writing marathon done. Psyched to go to bed so I can wake up and start a week more of writing. And shout out to Sundowners for making me aware of this, the Sundowners Club. But if we look at his shirt here, I don't know if I can zoom in here. Yeah, it's just going to zoom in this around. So this is a skeleton right here on his shirt. And then his coffee cup also has a skeleton on it.
Pretty sure if you open image in a new tab, you can zoom. But yeah, no, go on with that.
Yes, there you go.
Who's the skeleton?
So I think it's just skeletons.
Oh,
but if we remember, basically the first image of Terminator in this first Terminator movie is a Terminator stepping on a skeleton.
Oh, that's true.
I think, I was talking to Sundowners about it. These guys like to be cryptic. They like to put out these clues that aren't really clues. But
not only that, the frame of the Terminator is supposed to resemble a skeleton, right? So that's even, I'd say, more of a clue, right? Is the fact.
And then, especially when you go back to his Twitter and you see that he is just retweeting. What the hell is going on?
Well, I would argue it's one of the many well-known IPs that has very solid science fiction roots, and it's just handled poorly in the further installations of Mad Max is another one that's more apocalyptic, right? Yep. But in the same vein of what I'm talking about, right? It's there's a lot of really cool aspects about Terminator, and I think that overall it just wasn't handled well.
100%.
The last good installation was Salvation, and a lot of people had issues with that, but I enjoyed Salvation.
With
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale is John Connor, right?
Yeah, and then the guy from Avatar, I never remember his name.
Sam Waterston.
Yeah. Look, it wasn't horrible to me. I know the older generations, the generation above us and the one before that, they have issues with it. But I don't know. As a new, when I saw that in theaters, I'm pretty sure I've rewatched it since, maybe 2 or 3 times. My dad liked it, but again, it's a property that I think has a lot of cool science fiction, I guess just content in general, but
opportunities.
Opportunities, potential. It's another one.
That's
right?
better.
There's a lot of potential in this as a science fiction, and I know you're not too big on animation, but from those little frames that they released, the animation looks pretty cool, at least 2-dimensionally, right? So I'm actually I wouldn't say excited for it, but I'll probably give this a watch and a legitimate.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Looking at these, and obviously, these two, and then these are some other images. There's not really a lot to go on here. I think it's obvious that they're trying to kind of bridge a gap between a Western stylized anime like Avatar: The Last Airbender was, and then a full on Japanese style anime. It feels like somewhere in the middle.
I agree. I think though it actually lands closer to the Western animation style, and I think that that's exactly what we're going to get. Maybe in terms of animation alone, like the stylized drawings might actually look a little bit more like a Japanese anime, but I think the show as a whole is going to play like a Western animation.
But then what is this? I mean, is this going to be like a personification of Skynet right here? Like
it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I think this is going to be the similar to Blood of Zeus. I don't know if you watched that on Netflix. Actually, it was a pretty cool Western animation, and it was produced by Netflix. So I think we can see something similar. That shot looks pretty cool. I won't lie there.
Yeah, but these two right here seem to show like some sort of ethereal force, like at play, and that doesn't say Terminator to me.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
It will. I'm looking forward to it, to say the least. Not really excited, but looking forward to a new take on Terminator.
Definitely. And then there was one other what's it called? One other thing that we came across probably about 45 minutes ago through the greatness that is Twitter. Well, hang on. Did we get a trailer for like a full-on trailer for Acolyte yet?
Yeah.
Is that a thing we talked about like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really. I mean, we've talked about Acolyte a bunch, but I don't think we've like watched the trailer. You know how I feel about.
Oh yeah.
About Star Wars right now. So if you'd like to watch it, we can.
No, I don't want to watch that again.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up, bud?
What's up, Jay?
This is something that we can definitely talk about because we've talked at length about the John Wick movies.
Yes, I'm excited for this.
And they have just announced that a John Wick spinoff film is in the works, focusing on Donnie Yen's character, Kane.
Which was my favorite new character in the John Wick series. Like what
do you mean? He was your favorite character in John Wick 4?
Yes, that's what I meant.
See, I liked Clancy Brown's character more.
Wait, Clancy Brown was...
He was the adjudicator. Or not, no, it wasn't. Adjudicator was the hairless lady in 3. What was Clancy Brown's role? He was the Harbinger.
Oh, yeah.
I liked it. And one of the things that was kind of cool was that when he slides that letter across the desk to what's his name that's unfortunately sadly passed away now, he's missing that finger. He's and it's relatively quickly evident that he is what John Wick will become if John Wick does not win.
Yeah.
I really like that character. Plus, how can you not like Clancy Brown? I mean,
exactly. I mean, he's been in literally everything.
Yeah, for us, he's like the voice of our generation. Almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and what's his name? Keith Davidson.
Who does Keith David? What has he done?
Keith David. He was the Arbiter in Halo.
Oh, well, I didn't play Halo.
He was also, for me, he was Captain Anderson in Mass Effect.
Yeah, and I played them. I just wasn't Like I wouldn't be able to remember who the characters are, to be honest.
He was the. You definitely remember this one. He was the bad guy in Agent Cody Banks.
Yeah. Oh shit.
There you go. Well, sorry. No, he was the head of the CIA in Agent Cody Banks.
Okay.
The bad guy was that Indian guy.
Cody Banks. I haven't thought about that show for 10 years, Caleb. That's hilarious.
With Angie Harmon.
Yeah, stop doxing our age.
But yeah, so what do you think about this? Do you think this is going to do well, or do you think it's going to kind of go like that Continental show?
It's going to do far better than the Continental show. First of all, they have Donnie Yen, which is a huge martial art phenomena, right, in film. And at the end of the day, the John Wick movies, like my perspective on them it's just good, like manly fun, right? Like you're not going to watch some incredible like screenplay with this in-depth story with multiple layers. It has its moments, but at the end of the day, it's a fun movie for both men and women to just go watch dudes fuck shit up, right?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like the Transformers movies. If you the Monster Universe movies, if you're going into these movies expecting Citizen Kane, you're at the wrong movie. It's your fault for being upset.
Exactly.
If you went into a Transformers movie expecting anything other than giant robots beat the shit out of each other on the interstate, it's kind of your own fault.
And that's what I've always looked at. I think these are probably the best action movies to come since like the prime of I mean, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but like James Bond, like at least in this, when was the last James Bond movie
that was good, or the last James Bond movie?
That was good.
So the last one that was good was
Pierce
Skyfall.
Okay.
Skyfall in 2012.
And I believe these started after 2012.
John Wick is 2015 is my guess.
But this is my point. And how many Bond movies and Mission
14.
Impossible movies, and you could even toss in the Bourne movies.
Yeah,
but
so
like,
since 2014.
These are all in the same vein of like category, right? Like, so I think these are the best since the prime of these.
So you've had we've had 3 Mission Impossible movies since John Wick, the first John Wick.
I'd say they've blown. Okay, I'm biased because I haven't really watched the Mission Impossible movies, but I would argue that these are more of a phenomena since they've come out. Like
we've had 2 007s, both which have not been very good.
So would you disagree?
I think you're pretty much spot on the money. I think of those 4 like action things, the number 1 is John Wick, number 2 is Mission Impossible, number 3 is 007, simply because A, I'm biased, and 2, there's been more of them, and then Bourne would be the last one. I think there's only been 1.
And plus I'm not, just for anyone that's like listening, I'm not saying that John Wick as a whole is better than James Bond. I'm just saying of the later
that
James
these
Bond,
movies, these 4 movies have been more enjoyable and more of an action, a guy's movie than the last 2 007 movies.
And knowing that I can go into that movie, have a couple drinks with my dad, we go watch the movie together, like that in itself, because I really don't like any. I try not to get too excited for films because just knowing how, like, okay, what kind of woke bullshit they're going to throw into this. But like, that's just my simple mind taking over. But when it comes to John Wick, I know exactly what I'm going to the theater to see. I'm not going to go to see some crazy. There is like a in-depth plot, but like you're not going there to watch. You're watching the 30-minute action sequences, which the director does a very, very good job, directing those scenes.
But some of them. So in this one particular, in John Wick 4, the staircase one went probably about 10 minutes too long.
Sure. I mean, again, it's kind of like it's kind of like action meets fantasy for me for
Yeah.
John Wick, because none of this is like realistic other than the sense of like his actual movements with the firearm, because like Keanu Reeves put in the time to actually train on how to breach breach doors and go through with all that stuff. Jiu-jitsu, like he's actually doing the stunt, so that part's realistic, but the overall scene is obviously it's exaggerated to the fullest extent, but and then plus it, by the fourth movie it's a little like bros are like running around with their coat covering their face and bullets just bouncing off the coat because it's a bulletproof coat. Like obviously that's not real. But you know what? Yeah, to go back to your question is like I'm actually pretty excited for this. And plus, like I was saying, Donnie Yen with his sword, his cane sword, fucking cool. I like that. I'm totally down to watch more of that go on.
Who doesn't like a cane sword?
Yeah,
like, come
exactly. And dude, the way he's fucking flicking it around like a chopstick, it's fucking hilarious, dude.
And Breezy, what's up? We'll get to House of the Dragon in a little bit. Now I feel like you're kind of on a little high right now. Let's bring you down, and I want to hear some thoughts.
All right, good night. Good night, you fucker! I was hoping you wouldn't do this to me, bro. I intentionally didn't send this to you.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on? I couldn't find. I've been sitting here trying to find the article for like 10 minutes now, but one of them says, basically, it says this, but. The first look at season 2 of The Last of Us featuring Pedro Pascal and Bella and an aged up Bella Ramsey. And I'm like, what do you mean aged up? She looks younger than she fucking did in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and she's like 21 or something.
Dude, like, come on.
Yeah.
So before we get into this, I love Sean Bean. I've watched almost maybe not everything that Sean Bean's in, but if Sean Bean's in it, you're probably about 80% more likely to get me to watch it.
Yeah.
So he was in this mini-series, a 3-episode mini-series called Time on BBC. And what it was basically this guy kind of fucks up. He kills someone while driving drunk. And he goes to jail for like 18 months.
Sean Bean's going to be in this?
No.
Oh, I was like, where are you going with this?
So Sean Bean was in this show called Time, and they did a second series, and it has Jodie Whittaker and our friend Bella Ramsey in it. And Bella Ramsey is supposed to, as I understand it, supposed to be like a 25-year-old woman in this. And let's see if I can't find the picture of her. And this is what she looks like. And I just don't think she looks 25.
No, she looks fucking
like
17 years old.
I don't understand why she keeps getting casted in things where she's supposed to be older than 12.
Okay, so someone that we both know said some. I think I posted that exact article in this in a DMs in Discord, and they were like, "So why did she look like Greta Thunberg ran through a blender?" It's so fucked up. It's horrible. But based off of that, they like that since season 1, people are like she looks nothing like Ella.
Yeah, do we have? Let me see on this side by side.
So she looks nothing like Ellie, but everyone likes to say like, oh, but she embodies the character of Ellie. And look, at the end of the day, like, and look, I'm not gonna argue with that. She actually does do a decent job in terms of acting, and portraying the role of Ellie. Like Ellie's a kind of a brat, like in the show or in the game, and she's the same in the show. But it's half of the assignment, right? So like you should be able to, or when you're casting, it's not just about the looks, but it's also about how well they can portray the character. And she only does half of what's correct.
Yeah.
Now, another thing I need to say is that with the technology of gaming or in video games, they use motion capture.
Yeah.
So they have an actress that they've modeled this character off of who did voice acting for this character. I'm not at this point. I don't really understand the like swapping it out. And again, people always like to talk about the 1-to-1 ratio and like, oh, it doesn't need to be a 1-to-1 ratio, or it's like it. I think it's important that maybe they start implementing that more and seeing the people that are mocapped in the games, and then you bring them into the actual. At least
so I can tell you why on this one. Because the voice actress is 40.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So that's why for this one.
Yes,
but I do agree with you. I do agree with you.
No, but okay. Still, they probably could have easily found
featuring Pedro Pascal. Not for long.
Yeah. No, and that's another thing. Like the only thing I'm looking forward to seeing is Pedro Pascal getting his face bashed in, and knowing HBO, they're probably going to do it like spot on and super graphic. And I'll probably hate watch the rest of it, but in no way am I like,
you're not super excited.
Yeah, no, I mean this dude. You already know how this show, this whole franchise infuriates me now, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah, did you watch Narcos?
Narcos?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Did he die in it?
No.
Okay, that's too bad. I was going to say, he's getting close to get the Sean Bean reputation.
Dude, he's a good actor. It's just like I can't stand him. Like seeing him on Twitter.
Well, he keeps opening his mouth, and it's like,
and
hell, man.
I don't need him in every single IP that I watch.
Exactly.
Like he's just like, but like, yeah, I'm not going to sit there and pretend he's not a good actor. Like he can act. It's just, I'm tired of seeing him, and I'm tired of him opening his mouth on Twitter.
And just in case it becomes an issue, thank you Variety, thank you Culture Crave, discussing films. But before we move on to TV show trailers, there are 2 video games I want to talk about. Actually, there's 1 video game. Actually, I'm going to change it up and do this. So I just really kind of brought you down really bad there. I thought I might make it up to you and bring you
planned this whole thing.
100%. So there's one thing that you will not shut the fuck up about.
Well, that's a lot of things, but
so let's
narrow it down a little bit.
Let's see what you have to say. And I've been told that I need to watch this teaser because every image I've seen makes me think it's going to be dog shit. But apparently, the teaser makes it look really good.
Oh.
Do you disagree?
Have you watched the teaser yet?
I've not watched any of this.
We'll talk about it after, yeah.
Okay.
When does an empire die? Does it collapse in one terrible moment? No. But there comes a time when its people no longer believe in it.
Don't let the now destroy the forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, welcome.
Is this society, is this way we're living, the only one that's available to us?
We are taking our city
And when we ask these questions, when there's a dialogue about them, that basically is a utopia.
So
leave it on this frame.
Yeah. So I was talking. I still think the wildest thing about this is that fucking Grace Vanderwall is in this. She was a fucking. You know who she is, right?
No.
She was that little girl with the ukulele on American's Got Talent like 15 years ago.
Dude, yeah, I never even watched America's Got Talent.
So the thing that I think is interesting about this is, and I'm gonna kind of steal what the Sundowners Club called me about and was telling me about, is it does appear to be that you've got Adam Driver's character that basically decides he doesn't want to go quietly into the night and he wants to try to fix the problem of society, as opposed to all the other kind of not quite apocalyptic movies that we get, but peak of society movies that we get. They're always like the only future is pain and destruction. There's no way to get past the evil of this. So I like the idea that this is, it appears at least that Francis Coppola is thinking there's other ways to do that. But real quick, that trailer looks so convoluted, or teaser looks so convoluted. And I expect that we're going to see a movie where he got caught up in the CGI, the computer, the grand, beautiful imagery, that he forgot to keep control of the story.
Yeah, I mean, look, in terms of that, I'm not really sure I saw it the same way you did. I think there are going to be a lot of visual effects that he's going to be playing with just because the technology is there now. And so, like, I don't know how much Sundowners has been following this. When this movie was announced, I think like 4 or 5 years ago, like I heard about it about, I think, right before COVID. Me and my friend were talking about it. So I've been kind of following this to a T. Like I would look this up like multiple times a year, try to find the newest news on it. And at first it started, like, my interest started peaking with the cast, right? Because
this is an interesting cast.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of potential in a cast like that. And as a director, he gave us The Godfather, he gave us Apocalypse Now.
Of course, another little asterisk there is they were both 47 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and like Ridley Scott
and The Outsiders,
and what's his name? The other one.
What's his name? Scorsese.
Yes, right? Like Scorsese. They just seem to kind of forget how to control the movie.
Again, but like even in film, like my friend who showed me about this, like he started like taking film classes and stuff, and like Godfather is like one of the first films they start learning about.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of a consensus that's up there in the top like 10 films of all time, right? Like the first Godfather. Now, so the second one. Regardless, the Godfather series, so
it's not the third one.
Yeah, you have to give him his respect where it's
due. Absolutely.
Now, in terms of what you were talking about, this, and there's been this article. I don't know if you remember in Discord, I posted it a few months ago, but there was an article like this is basically going to be like a, in my opinion, a global warming propaganda piece for Hollywood. That's essentially where it's coming from. You have an apocalyptic setting, and instead of rebuilding the world in a way that they're already like that how it was first created. Like, you're going to need to now apply like more modern. I wish I had this article. If I had known we were talking about this, I would have brought something to the table. No, it's fine. But no, there is like it legitimately. There are some aspects of this that are going to be about. It might not be portrayed through the story, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be like there's going to be a lot of hints of just like legitimate propaganda about the state of our world being portrayed through this movie, which is not surprising at all. And I think in a way, like what we were just talking about with the older directors, he's going to be using this chance to like keep his name in the loop.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I'm seeing it, and I think we can expect to see a very different film than what it was presented.
Yeah, which is kind of what I told Sundowners. But I do agree that simply on the teaser, it does. I am more interested than I was before I watched this. But my thought is that he's going to lose control. Not lose control to like a producer or someone, not like some other director could today. But I think he's going to get caught up, kind of like Lucas did with CGI stuff, where he kept going back and changing things and adding the CG and the original trilogy and then re-releasing it. I think he's going to get caught up a little bit there. So that does concern me. But I'm more interested, which is the point of a teaser.
I mean, yeah, it's just again, and later I can send you that thing when I find it, since I don't have time right now. But after that article that I'd read, I was like, yeah, this is not sounding good. Dude, I'm very sorry. Can I get like 20 seconds to run to the restroom real quick?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to say no, hold it. That would be terrible. Can you imagine someone telling you that you just have to hold it? I'm sure I can do something. So, everyone, how was your, I guess, week? Let's see. I haven't talked to anyone. I haven't streamed since in 20 seconds. Breezy, I don't think so. I haven't streamed since Saturday night. I think I played that new game of mine. Still enjoying it. Not really enjoying the story overall. It's a very weak story compared to what it had in the first game, the second game, and then the semi-sequel thing they did. But the combat, I am enjoying the combat systems, which is, for me at least, enough right now. And of course, we got Helldivers. I'm really enjoying Helldivers still. I'm happy that, like we said last week, or like I said last week, I'm happy that Sony kind of backed off a little bit. I feel like my camera is a couple seconds short. Let's see if this fixes that. Let's see. Does that put a box on the... Nope, we're not going to do it that way. Let's go back to this. How about this? This should work.
My bad.
Let's see, is my voice caught up? Yep, I think it is. I was just talking about video games real quick. Because actually, we're not going to go to this trailer first. We're going to go into... First look at Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I was hoping we would cover this tonight.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who do you serve?
all I have ever known in my life. Our land. Our customs. My family. Burns in the name of unification.
You are still a frog in a well, who knows nothing of the sea. The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all come from the same river. Greed. Power. Vengeance.
And you? Will you continue down that river? Or choose another path beyond what we see?
And we must look for it. Together. We must learn to trust. Rebuild.
And follow the blade.
Is this painted black?
I don't think so.
I said, who do you serve? We are the shadows.
That served the light.
So I was much more excited for that until about 30 seconds until the end. I thought it looked pretty damn cool until, oh, they're teaming up and you're going to go between being Sakura, who is an actual black samurai, and this
Well, Yasuke, right? Is
yeah, I don't know how to say the name. It's I know it begins with an S.
Yeah,
and there's a K in it.
Yeah, Yasuke. Yeah. I mean, dude, I've got some, I think, historical issues too with it. So everything that I don't think Yasuke was an actual samurai as to what we're thinking. So I was reading on Twitter and then also this Reddit post about how from Japanese people, Japanese people talking about this, saying that Yasuke was actually a squire to a samurai. And when you're an actual samurai, they were essentially bodyguards of the lords who were also samurai at some point, but it's a royalty thing. So I don't think in history there to be a samurai, from my understanding, is you're granted lands and power. I don't think Yasuke, and don't take me for my word on this, but I'm pretty sure feudal Japan didn't grant him lands and power over people.
Yeah, so it is
being
important to
outsider.
note that despite popular myth and modern depictions, there are no historical writings nor evidence that Yusuke was ever granted the rank or title of samurai.
He might have been trained with a sword.
Yeah, he was never given a fief nor referred to as one
Yes.
in any writings.
Exactly.
Most of our knowledge of his life comes from these messages written by missionaries and locals. So, let's see. In 1579, he arrived in Japan at the service of the Italian Jesuit missionary Alessandro Vallegano. What a great Italian name. Let's see. Vallegano decided to visit the capital as an envoy. He wanted to have an audience with Oda Nobunaga, the most powerful man in Japan, to ensure that Jesuit missionaries' work would work before leaving Japan. Let's see. He wrote, "A black boza from the Christian country has arrived. He appears to be 26 or 70 years old. The black..." I don't know if I can say this out loud.
Do you need me to say it? Someone with a little bit darker of a tone?
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Holy shit.
Well, look. We've made the point that the inaccuracy is there. And look, it's Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed. They've never claimed to be historically accurate with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's something you can overlook. In this same post I was talking about, though, these Japanese people that was when it was translated, were talking about how I can't confirm this, but the katana position is incorrect. Which is another minor detail to look out for.
Like which katana, do you know?
On Yasuke, so when they show him, I believe his sword is mounted in the wrong position. But
so we got them both right here. We got the katana here.
Yes, exactly.
I forget. So they should be reversed.
The shoto, I believe so, yes.
Yeah, the shoto.
The shoto should be below the sword or the katana. And then another thing, and I don't know if it's shown in this trailer, but like the teaser like a year ago when they first announced this, there were a bunch of Chinese lanterns hanging off of the buildings. That's a little racist. Coming from a Western studio to be putting Chinese lanterns on the and then another thing that they called out was that this isn't traditional Japanese architecture. It's actually like more Chinese architecture. So another thing that's kind of like, but I'm pointing all of these discrepancies out because they clearly are trying to hit that representation boxes with having a woman lead character and a black male lead character, yet they're fucking up on all of the actual culture of samurai in Japan. So, and to be honest, I've been done with Ubisoft for a while. I gave it another shot for Valhalla, and this is just a cinematic trailer. So the cinematic trailer can look as good as it wants, but when it comes down to a gameplay trailer, I'm expecting something similar to Valhalla. And I'm just like, I'm just done with Ubisoft and what they did with Outlaws. We can go on for hours.
My biggest issue is he's not even. This isn't even him dressed up as a samurai here. He's dressed up as a not a daimyo.
What?
It starts with a K, I think.
No.
Please, Lord. There we go. Can't find it. But so there were the daimyo was how do you actually say it? Is it daimyo?
Daimo. The correct pronunciation.
So a daimyo was a great lord who was a vassal of a shogun. Shogun was the warlord.
Well, a shogun is basically a lord without a master. Technically, yeah.
So I'm taking this from like the 1500s war, where the shoguns, Takagora was the main one, and he was like they were referred to as warlords, at least in the English writings of that history,
because they technically branch off of the main government, as you could say, right? Like they're not. It's a leaderless warlord essentially, and I only know that from the Shogun show.
Yeah. But he's here dressed up as like basically a great hero, not just a samurai. Like this is beyond what he even taking like the nicest ways of reading the stuff.
And look at the helmet. Like the helmet alone shows that he's more than just a samurai. Like samurai could be like 3 ranks below that, like more than 3 ranks below the actual leader of that that family or group, right? And it's just, I don't know, man. I'm not really stoked on this right now. I have to wait to see the gameplay.
Also,
plus, is this going to be a $70 game? Or
$70 game. So would you say or $120 game
for all the extras and shit?
Yeah. So it's going to be the same stuff that video games have done for like 8 years now. You're going to have the base game that you can play probably about 80% of the stuff on day one. Then you're going to have the deluxe edition that's probably going to give you a 72-hour, especially with Ubisoft, a 72-hour early access and a cosmetic here and there maybe. Then you're going to have the $120 edition.
So I'm only bringing this up because it Outlaws, right? Made from Ubisoft too. They're charging $120 for literally early access and cosmetics and extra missions. That to me is like complete theft, right? Like,
so I don't agree with that. But the problem is, why are we just now speaking up? I mean, they've been doing this. They being Ubisoft, EA, DICE, Respawn, Activision. They've been doing this for 7 years now.
Not that bad. Respawn, it wasn't that bad either. Respawn was like, you pay $90, you get all the cosmetics in the whole game. With the Fallen Order games, right? Unless you buy like the giant package, the $200 package that gives you a lightsaber. But from what I remember, I think I paid $89 for the Fallen Order package, which gave me the whole thing. I definitely didn't pay over $100 on that one.
So, real quick, the other thing that's really funny about this is they've taken him out of the correct time period. So he was there in the early 1500s. Guns like these didn't exist in the 1500s. So if we're putting this in 1810 Japan, then he should have been dead for like 300 years.
Yeah. Again, it's just the cinematic, like, sure, it was cool in the sense of a cinematic, but there are too many red flags popping up right now.
I don't understand how Ubisoft has been asked for 18 years since the first
2 decades,
18 years to make an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan. You say the word assassin, you don't think of Iran, even though it's a Middle Eastern word. You think of Japan. You think of ninjas.
Yeah.
It was laid out in front of you? It's the same issue I've got with Napoleon and any other time you make a movie based off a very famous dude and you fuck it up. The movie is written. The game has already been written. Pick a dude, place him in the Civil War during Shogun Takagara, and have him do missions for him or against him. There's your game. There's 80% of it's done.
So one of these comments that I'm looking at right now on that post was, and this is translated, but it says, "It's a bit disappointing. I wanted to play as a Japanese ninja. It's my favorite game since I started with Syndicate and have played everything. So sad." Like, hey, that's coming from a person in Japan. Like, like it's more disrespectful to them to do it like this, right? And then I don't know, dude. It's hard to
imagine? Think about like all the Asian characters in movies that are pretty good characters, kind of like Donnie Lin in John Wick 4. But think about all these weapons that you could have put in this game. You got that one that's the it's like the long chain with the small blade on the end that you do stuff with and you kick it out. It was in some TV show a couple of years ago. I can't remember what it's called. But that would have been awesome to have in this.
Yeah, I think Ubisoft is long past their glory days. I don't think this is gonna. I still kind of have hopes for the one that they're doing in Britain, but you know what I'm talking about, the Hex. I think it's that one. I might hold out a little bit of hope for. This one I think is dead on arrival in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's already getting shit on.
They need to. That stupid French CEO needs to walk out, or French Canadian needs to walk out and say, every single person that tried to get me in trouble 7 years ago, you're all fired. And that would remove probably a third of the dead, probably half the dead weight. Because all these video game companies, you know what they look like? Remember probably about a month before Elon took over Twitter, and Twitter was full, and Instagram and TikTok were full of these "My Day at Twitter" videos. That's what the video game industry looks like right now. And we need to go from that to the Twitter Today picture, where it's a bunch of people that actually want to work.
Well, also they all walked out once he got hired. So maybe they just need to hire a CEO that isn't on board with all this fucking bullshit. Yep. And then they all get pissed off and like, well, we're leaving. Like,
right.
It would honestly, Ubisoft would go back to the days of Black Flag, of Assassin's Creed 4, which was, I believe, the Revolution one.
So 3 is Revolution, Black Flag was the Pirates.
Yeah, so I get which one was 4?
There, it's not called 4. Black Flag is technically 4.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you had Rogue,
there's one in between 2 and 3, right?
Yeah, so you had Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revolutions,
right,
3, Black Flag, Rogue. Ooh, let's see if I can do this. Hang on. Rogue, then you had the French one, which was
Revelations, or
no.
Syndicate.
Syndicate. Yeah. Then you had the one in Britain with the twins. I can't remember its name. Then Origins, then Odyssey, then Valhalla, and then the one with M, Mirage, and then this one.
Yeah, I mean, I know you didn't like Origins, and this doesn't even land.
This is the other thing. I don't like video games. It's the one issue I have with GTA 5. I don't like video games that if you need multiple perspectives to tell a story. I think that's dumb. This is not Oceans.
Yeah, I love those movies.
Love them, but that doesn't work in a video game.
So I would say they left their glory days after Wait, we just went through the list. Brotherhood.
Odyssey for me.
I guess you could say no. But that was much farther out from their glory days where they were making banger after banger.
So they just lucked out with Odyssey.
They lucked out with Odyssey for you, and they lucked out with Origins for me. But that still shows that's like you're already divided at that point, right? So I would say the last really good one was the Revolutions for me, though, where you're playing the Revolution War. For me, that was the last. Like, I think they dropped off, or what? Wait, did Assassin's? Sorry, I know we just went through it, but was Assassin's Creed 3?
Black Flag was Assassin's Creed 4. That was the last good one for me.
Okay, let's just leave it on that. Point being, that's been what, a decade since they've made.
Yep.
Where you had full confidence with their games, right? And for me, the last one that kind of drew me in was Valhalla. And look at where that turned out, right? Like, so I don't know, man. I don't.
Oh, Breezy, you're killing me, man. I loved Odyssey. Absolutely loved it. Ready to get
I'm
is
with
everyone in the
Breezy's.
chat ready to get pissed off?
I'm with Breezy's.
Who wants to get angry?
Yeah, I hated it too, man.
Who wants to get angry? And shit.
An evil, ancient and powerful, has returned.
Prepare yourselves.
He worms his way into my mind. The crest of him slithers in.
Harry Potter.
I think he has been here. I think he's been here among us all along.
Every soul in Middle-earth is in peril.
He's so long.
So you know what pisses me off the most about this?
What?
Oh, I was going to let you say what?
Yeah.
This looks better than season 1. Like, it does. It looks better than
I was
season
gonna say I can't wait for this. Season 1 was good. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be fantastic. I'm very excited.
But what pisses me off about this is y'all could have done this all along. Like, nothing was going to fix the shit that we got in season 1 of Rings of Power.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, would you rather get shot in the head or would you rather get shot in the leg? Well, I'd rather get shot in the leg.
Well, exactly. I was gonna say, like, visually, what Breezy is saying right there.
Yeah, exactly. It looked very good visually.
It does look better visually, but I don't know enough to rip on this in detail. But
like that looks good.
Yeah, I'll say it looks better than the first one.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, they're all the same issues. With like the little I know, like Galadriel is vastly different than she was in the books, and I mean, for one, you've got this is gonna sound horrible, but like black elves and black
so glad
dwarves. I know. Look, I know you're thinking it, so I'll do you. If you get canceled, I'm sorry, but no. At the end of the day, like it's not about the race. It's about what was written in the context of the original story, and it goes too much goes against it. And then also with Halbrand or whatever his name was in the first season being Sauron, from what I understand, that's vastly different than what was written in the book.
Yeah.
So it's like it's trying. The way I view when IPs do this, it's like trying to build a city on top of a wetland. So you can build the city, and eventually it's going to crumble.
I've heard a story about like building something on a rock versus building something on the sand. Where have I heard that before?
I don't know. Where have you heard that?
It's a parable.
Oh, okay. So I'm Catholic. We don't thump the Bible like that. We just preach God.
You just feel guilty all the time.
Yeah. We actually pray to Mary, dude. So but yeah, no, you
Mary
see
and all the holy saints.
Yeah, the seven dwarves. Yeah. But no, but you see what I'm saying, right? It's like you can it's for like I remember I think Florida had some issue with structure. With like like they were building like it's sunk, like the whole city itself has sunk like a few inches, I believe, or something like that, because they built it on wetlands. And that's kind of what I'm saying is like you can build these structures, but like at some point it's gonna like the foundation is gonna fail. That's kind of how I view like Rings of Power. Like
so this I don't know if anyone actually follows me on Twitter, but so this is armor that Elrond wears, and I was trying to figure out why I recognized this armor, and I think it's because it actually like looks a lot like this armor.
What movie is that from?
This is Dracula Untold.
That's what I fucking thought, dude.
Like, I clicked the wrong button. Like, I mean, look at this. Where's the... Like, they're very similar makeups. Brazy, you might actually be following me. It's King's Advisors _. But like, I'm sitting there and I can't help but see things I've already seen. It's kind of like Rebel Moon. Like every single scene in Rebel Moon, we've already seen that scene before. Whether it was a Harry Potter, it's why I when we were going through this. First off, I don't know what the hell this is. What worm monster? This is one of the reasons why I kind of wish Pilgrim was in here. I don't remember any sort of worm monster through anything. But,
yeah, it's a sandworm, bro.
Yeah, I had said earlier, is that a Dune thing?
Yeah.
No, Harry Potter right here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this is from. You got Roots moving to probably go attack someone off camera here.
The crest of him slithers in.
Yeah, that's Celebrimbor. This is probably part of his torture. God. And then, I mean, what?
So, do you see
what is this?
Do you see the meme of him with an elongated forehead?
Oh, and then my favorite one was when they actually turned him into Kiadi Mundi.
Yeah, I was gonna try to make a meme where this dude's forehead is the mountain in Mordor, the volcano. But I didn't have time to do it. Yeah,
that's beautiful, dude.
I was getting like, I still might.
So is the other guy in this at all the actor that played Halbrand in the first season?
Probably not. I'd imagine they're just going to go straight to his real form.
So this is what annoys me. So you've got I'm going to assume the guy called Sauron in this is actually. I'm looking at the Google casting, so they've got him called Sauron now. Charlie Vickers. Yeah, looks like he's in.
Well, like, so all transparency.
No, he's only in season 7. Sorry, 1.
I think I stopped watching second to last episode, or actually, I stopped watching at like 4th episode, to be honest, like 3rd episode. But I do remember seeing like the finale ends with you seeing Sauron in his full armor with his mace, like walking out to a balcony. So I'm confused how they're going to connect that, right? If they're going to have him in his elf form, but like they already showed in the first season him in his full armor. So like what?
So this is. I'm going to attempt to do this. Is one of the other reasons why I wish Pilgrim was here, because I am regrettably a little hazy on the overall story.
Oh shit! Look at Breezy's comment. So apparently this is the guy that. No. Yeah, that is, and I think he's correct. I think he's correct. The face does look the same.
So what happens is that Sauron, in his beautiful form called oh shit.
Dude, I'm starting to think Pilgrim knows more about Lotor than you do.
He probably does. I'm not upset. Anatar. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, Breezy. Anatar, Lord of the Gifts. He basically shows up to the elves. He shows up to, I believe, Celebrimborn, and says, "Hey, I got this really good idea.
Make me this ring so I can."
Let's make these rings that y'all. They're for the elves. They're elemental. Gandalf had the water one, I think. Galadriel had no. I think Galadriel had water. I think Gandalf had fire. And I guess Elrond had, I don't know, earth. I don't really remember. But he convinces over like a period, it's like a 500-year period that Celebrimbor makes these rings. The whole time Sauron's back in Mordor, like going, oh, okay, we're gonna do this for my ring, then we'll do this, and doing all this stuff over a huge period of time. Celebrimbor basically finds out, or the elves find out who Anatar is, and by the time they find out, it's too late. Sauron has struck, taking control, doing yada. But exactly, Breezy. Yeah, it's not as fast as they made it look in the show. And so the problem with this is, first off, there is no Halbrand, who is actually king of the South. That doesn't exist at all. And then Anatar is supposed to be beautiful. This dude walks down the street and you cross the street and pull out your gun. Like this is going to give kids nightmares.
Yeah.
This guy. So how anyone could call him Anatar, Lord of the Gifts, blows my mind.
Look, at the end of the day, I think even though I don't really know what's going on with the story, I think I'm pretty accurate with the fact that this is being built on a shaky foundation, right? Like,
oh no, you're spot on.
Yeah.
The other issue here is, if we remember, one of the storylines in the first season was that the evil was spreading into the Elven kingdoms and corrupting everything, and only Mithril could fix it. And so clearly what's going to happen is, because something has happened between the dwarves and the elves, and the dwarves actually won't give any Mithril, Anatar is going to show up and say, I know a way we can fix the trees and fix our kingdoms. And it's going to be with these rings, which is why in this scene forward, you see them like showing all their rings, or their 3 rings.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything starts growing again.
So is that like the water ring that you were talking about?
So this, I think, is going to be one of the rings for the elves or dwarf. The rings for the elves, and they are elemental rings. But I just don't remember air, fire, and water. So
keep explaining
that. Let's see. Ninya was the ring of water, and it was worn by Galadriel. Narya was the ring of fire, who Círdan gave to Gandalf, and Vilya was the ring of sapphire or air that Elrond had that Gil-galad gave to him. But yeah, Breezy, you're right. That one later is definitely Durin's ring. But this just, it's annoying because, like I said, this is better than season 1. But again, like I said, I'm still getting shot. You're still going to shoot me. It's still going to fucking hurt. I don't want to watch. I don't want it to happen. The other thing that I thought was interesting was, if you remember, one of the really big complaints about this show. This is the other thing that's so dumb. Alfarazon, I can't believe I remember these guys' names. Alfarazon showing up on one of the Great Eagles. Bullshit. They're just trying to include a giant beast to fight with House of the Dragon over beast size. But if you remember, one of the things that look at that. I missed this. Okay, so we're about to see the stranger, who is actually Gandalf.
That's supposed to be Gandalf?
It's definitely going to be Gandalf. Watch what he does. Remember, you shall not pass. Remember that. Watch this. Strikes the ground. Yeah. So this, if you remember, one of the complaints people had with the first season was that their battle scenes looked like crap, and the size of the forces were pathetic when you compare the fact that Lord of the Rings came out 20 years before this show did. Again, this looks better. Like, that looks like a lot more people than we saw in the cavalry charge in the first season. Breezy, yeah, he shows up on a boat as an old man in the Third Age. He shows up, I believe, near Gondor. And yeah. I don't know. Oh, I do. So this little thing that happens at the end. This is obviously something evil. So there are a couple people that said this is Barad-dûr. I don't think this is Barad-dûr for a couple reasons. One, Barad-dûr was close enough to Mount Doom that, just in case you don't know, Barad-dûr is the one with the eye. Was close enough to Mount Doom that in this new creation of Mordor, there would not be any green near where Barad-dûr was being made. I think this is it's in The Hobbit. Gundabad. Yeah, so that's what I think this is. I think this is going to be Gundabad, which is, at least in the Hobbit movie, was a orc stronghold. In the book, I forget what Gundabad exactly is, but it's an evil place. And so that's what I think they're making here. But once again, you've got a dumbass thing. The orcs are not magical. The orcs did not get all their shit. Sauron didn't make all his shit, in 3.5 days through magic. He used slave labor of the orcs who were, like Saruman said, originally elves that were corrupted by evil. Like, I don't understand why all these structures have to start being made through fast explosions and magic. It's bullshit. But August, so what day of the week is August 29th? It is Thursday. Okay, so they're sticking to the Thursday night thing. Okay. Thousands of years and tons of blood manipulation of the humans, dwarves, and elves. Yep. If I was them, I'd move on Thursday night. They do that with too many things. And I think if you want your show to be like the thing, you need to have it on a night where everyone's free to watch it.
Well, look what happened. If I'm remembering correctly, didn't they have this on a Sunday?
No, the first season was Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they started on September 2nd.
They probably just want this on a free date so that they don't get any type of. They're trying to mitigate the amount of confliction with other shows like Game of Thrones, right? Because we all know the viewership numbers are going to be fucking half as much as Game of Thrones is going to be.
Sorry, a community post got posted on something. Well, you know how you get notifications if you like to tweet or retweet something, and a community post gets posted on it, you get notified of that post. So it's happened to me like 2 or 3 times in the last couple of days, and each time I see it, I go, "Who is?" I don't have enough traffic to have a community post posted on my shit.
I thought you were talking about the Helldivers server that we're in.
No, unfortunately. But remember movies back in the day? Just before the movie started? You remember what it used to say? Now for your feature presentation.
Yes.
The Targaryen who sits the Iron Throne is not just a king or a queen. They are a protector of the realm. Now I find myself in an impossible position.
All hail, King Aegon!
The enemy usurped my throne.
We're going to King's Landing. Well, what are we going to do about it?
We must play the board before us.
Proceed cautiously.
Fuck dignity. I want revenge.
News spreads through the realm. The great houses will come to our side.
I did not think they would be so eager to die.
What a lie.
My ships sail at your command.
The realm's only hope is in a leader strong enough to unite it.
Do you accept me as your queen and ruler?
This senseless war must end.
Shall none of us prevail?
Not like this.
Alicent's love for our enemy. That makes her a fool.
The enemy without may be fought with swords. The enemy within is more insidious.
there is more than one way to fight a war.
Oh man.
Neither of us may win.
It looks so fucking good. I can't fucking wait for this. I have to say, like, I already, coming from someone that didn't read the books, but I did spoil a little bit of it. Like, I do know the blood and cheese, like, main points. I'm not gonna say what it is. I do know though that the like, I, based off season 1, I was immediately like, I'm Team Black, you know. But I do know that the storyline that I just talked about is gonna change that quite a bit.
Episode 1, baby.
But
can you imagine? They're gonna start this season with that.
They're either gonna start it with that, or they're gonna fucking tease it real hard for episode.
And then
2.
episode 2 will start with that.
That's what I kind of think's gonna happen. But you know, like, at the end of the day, like, dude, this show looks so fucking good. I'm stoked to see the Damon plot line play out. I do want, without giving away too many spoilers, Caleb, I'd like to know a little bit of context of, like, is it even the books? Like, when she's questioning Damon, when Rhaenyra's questioning Damon, like, do you accept me as your queen? Like, is that rooted in the books, or is this?
So one thing you got to remember is the Dance of Dragons in the Fire and Blood book is about that big. Like, it's, I think, 45 pages at most. I think it's 3 chapters. So a lot of this is kind of through discussions that Ryan Condal has with George R. R. Martin. On that note, real quick. So what was the guy's name again? That the writer we were talking about?
Oh, the guy that's doing the Terminator. I don't
Tomlin.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. So he said the other day that he had a really great meeting with George R. R. Martin, and that they're all really psyched for what they've kind of come up with. So really, little side note, really excited about that. What I'm curious about here is, and the issue I have is, one, I read this book back when it came out 5 years ago. 5 years ago? 3 years ago, maybe. I don't really remember it because it's a very boring book. It's a history book. So there's a lot of this that I've forgotten. The other issue is the timeline is a little difficult to match up with, because you gotta remember the first episode is like 117 AC. The last episode of season 1 is 130 AC. And then the Dance of Dragons is over in a year. Brazy, it may have been 14. So I think 14 was the art book. The book itself came out in Fire and Blood came out in 2018. So I think the art book came out in 2014. But what I am trying to kind of figure out is why this is a Daemon in King's Landing in the throne room. So is this a look back? It's not the right word. What's the right word? Flashback.
Flashback. Yeah, I was.
Is this
you made me lose it.
Yeah. Is this a flashback? I'm gonna be curious to see where this scene comes from.
Yeah.
But this is what I think most people are really excited
Well, okay. Before we move on, what I was asking about was that
scene
where she's asking him, she's basically asking for his fealty. Like, does that happen in the book?
So I don't remember. I don't remember the book being that specific.
Yeah.
I remember it being more like you know the joke about how your sister tells a story? And it's every tiny little thing down to like what someone was wearing.
Yeah.
So that's television. But then the book was more like the chapter synopsis in Spark Notes.
Yeah, it's just when I watched this trailer for the first time, I was because it seemed like obviously like in season 1 there's that he's super angry when they're talking.
Yeah, he kind of chokes her out.
Yeah, but like not once did I question his loyalty to her and her cause. So that's where I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I
so
started speculating what's going on with that. Right?
My guess is that is probably going to be, let's see. I'm guessing probably episode 3. I think is that because the Battle of Rook's Rest is episode 4. That's going to be where basically all the scenes you've seen Kristen Cole in armor, where he was running on horseback away from Bella on Moon Dancer. That's Battle of Rook's Rest. Most of those battles scenes, I think, are Battles of Rook's Rest. The one that you see a bunch of people marching down a road, I think is going to be towards the end of the season. But like Breezy said, first episode, it's either going to be the first episode or second episode. We're going back to Winterfell, and this, I think, how they handle this relationship right here is going to define both this season and the show going forward. Because this is the relationship that you've got a lot of people reading way more than in between the lines in from the book. And there's basically a belief that these two are gay for each other.
Are they going to do? You think they're going to play that out?
I don't. I think they're gonna allow us to decide for ourselves. Basically, what I remember happening in the book is we find out that Jace basically deflowered Cregan Stark's sister. And the issue here is he is pledged to marry, I think, Bella, his cousin. And so that's an issue because he's already pledged to get married. He's engaged. And so he decides to marry a Stark, and he apparently goes to tell Cregan, and the door's shut, and they stay in the room for a very long time. That's kind of what happens in the book. And Cregan is also married at this time as well. So I think what they're probably going to do in the show is they're going to have some sort of door shutting scene and let the viewer decide what happens.
This might be the bigot in me, but I would say that if George R.R. Martin wanted it to happen, he'd make it pretty clear that this character is gay.
Especially since he's not afraid to make someone a sword swallower.
That's what I'm saying. And like, sure, to leave it, no. He's probably very familiar with crossing swords, but at the end of the day, I'm tired of seeing. That's what I'm saying. The bigot in me, I'm tired of seeing this shit. We don't need it in every single installment of.
It is statistically highly unlikely to be in every single story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just I really hope they don't go down that route. But what I was talking about before was I think what she was questioning Rhaenyra to Daemon was an act of defiance, which is why she's being like that.
Yeah.
And that, like, maybe he tells her, I'm gonna go fucking kill my nephew.
Yeah.
Right. And
so I'm thinking what it probably is we see the scene in this where he tells Rhaenys we're going to King's Landing, and then we see him flying over King's Landing. I'm thinking he probably gets back from that little foray, and Rhaenyra goes, "I said no."
Yeah, that's what I was.
They have a little spat.
We're on the same page.
That's what I think probably happened.
And then in turn, look, and we were talking about this before the other day. Like, I'm most excited for that, the Dance of the Dragons, and Jace's story. Like, because again, I haven't read the book, so I'm excited to see Winterfell again, and I'm excited to see how the North gets. Because I don't know shit at this point. But I do know that they're at the wall, right? Like they're on the wall right now, right? So like I'm excited to see where the Targaryens play a role in this where the
Starks,
where the Starks play a role in the Targaryens war.
So
like, I really do want to see this.
My guess is we probably won't see a lot of Starks until closer to the end of the show. Obviously they're in this season. We're going to see some stuff, but I don't think we'll see a Northern army until later. Breezy, I think you're pretty spot on there. I think there's a reason they're going to the wall, and Jace is Rhaenyra's heir right now, which means he would be the one to take over Aegon's dream. And I think he knows something. I don't think Rhaenyra has like straight up told him the entire thing, but I think he is aware or been made aware of some sort of prophecy, and I think that's one of the reasons they've gone north, so that he can see beyond the wall, basically. But I love seeing ice here. I hated watching it get smelted down into two swords. It's nice to see it full on right here.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm so excited for this. And then also Aegon, like, again, I kind of chose my side in season 1, but like Aegon pisses me the fuck off. Like, I don't know how he is in the books, but I fucking hate this kid.
I love this armor.
Do you feel different though on the Aegon thing?
No, I fucking hate Aegon.
Yeah,
like
you hate him in the book too, or?
I mean, like I said, there's not a lot about Aegon in the book.
Dude, I fucking
at least
hate
that I
him.
remember. But I do love that we're getting to see. The other thing I do find interesting is he's got the cat's paw dagger, and that's supposed to be, as we saw in like the second episode, I think it was last season, that holds the prophecy like carved into it on the side. So I'm just surprised to see Rhaenyra doesn't have it.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, I thought that was with Rhaenyra.
But I love seeing these other shots of King's Landing. We spent a lot of time in the God's Eye in season 1. I like seeing different areas.
Dude, and in terms of an epic scene, like in terms of the widespread like cinematography, that's pretty good.
So this scene with Otto coming up, I'm pretty sure is episode 2.
The great houses will come to our side.
Because I think he's probably saying that after Blood and Cheese.
I did not think they would be so eager to die.
I love that line. I also love Aegon's. I don't want dignity. I want revenge.
Well, and then the other one. I was just gonna say that line. Yeah, both these lines are fucking fantastic.
Now, I will say, I really hope Viserys' carving of Valyria still exists. I hope we're going to see more of that, because that was really cool. Do you remember that?
I'm sorry, what?
Remember the thing that every single time you saw Viserys alone, he was always carving that big white thing.
Wasn't it part of the cat King's Landing?
Yeah,
thing?
no. So that was Valyria.
Oh shit.
Old Valyria. This is what he was carving. So I hope we get to see that. Let's see. I wonder what's going to happen here with Olivia Cook. You know, we saw those promotional images months ago of her in that like really, I think it was basically a nightgown, looking like she was just ready to give up. I'm excited to see what happens with her because shit happens between her and Rhaenyra. I won't really describe what happens, but stuff goes down. And I think we're going to see a lot of stuff, especially next season between them, that I think will do what Blood and Cheese does this season. That's Adam of Hull. So he's one of the, what were they called? Dragon. Brazy, what's Adam of Hull called? Dragon Seed. Yeah. No, that's not Adam of Hull. Who is this?
Is this a big spoil? Because like I thought this was just one of the Valerians.
Yeah. So it's not Adam of Hull. Adam of Hull. I think maybe it's his brother, Alan. Yeah. So I think this is Alan of Hull.
Do they have anything to do with Harrenhal or
no? Hull is a location near Driftmark, I believe. Yeah, Hull is a town on Driftmark. He was actually, I think he was actually there at the Battle of the Stepstones in episode 3 or 4, I think it was 3. Yeah, he was one of the guys near the table. He wasn't at the table because at the table was Laenor's brother, and the big Valerian. But yeah, I think he was just off to the side. So I'm going to be interested to see what they do with him. And then, of course, Alan, who's a dragon seed, which means he's a dragon rider. So that'll be really interesting. But the only, as you've seen in that Discord group, the only big concern is this scene right here where she picks up the sword. After watching this scene, I think this is just kind of her deciding which of these sword types she's more comfortable with. I don't think it's her, getting decked out for battle to go kill 1,000 men. I think it's just, hey, you're a dragon. I think you should wear a sword. Okay, what sword do you think I should wear? Here's a bunch of options.
Do these swords hold any meaning?
No, they don't look like they're Valyrian steel.
Okay.
Because
for some reason, what's the sword that Daemon holds? Dark
Sister. So
Dark Sister. Yeah.
So there's two Valyrian steel Targaryen swords, and Aegon has the other one. So she's stuck with just a normal sword. So I think this is just sword selection for her. Then obviously, a little concerned over the fact that we've yet to see Nettles, and we've seen a lot of Bella. I don't think it's a huge deal. I'm hoping maybe it's sort of a bait and switch, and we'll see Nettles show up. But I'm concerned because Nettles plays a big role. And unfortunately, if that role isn't in the show or isn't the show yet, so Breezy, I'm hoping that's not true. I'm hoping we're just kind of not being told. I'm hoping it's a bait and switch because, like you said, like I was saying earlier, it's a pretty big storyline. But let's start wrapping up. Damio, what do you think about this? We've watched a bunch of trailers tonight. We've talked about a bunch of TV shows. Is this the most exciting one for you?
Yeah, I mean, this next to, starting with House of the Dragon, that's probably first in line. Second in line would probably be the Donnie.
Last of Us.
Fuck you. No, the John Wick thing.
With Dylan, yeah.
And then I guess putting third the Terminator stuff. Other than that, it's like pretty much run of the mill, like stuff's coming out, and I'm not really like too stoked on it. But those three definitely gonna keep an eye on. Megalopolis, like, don't have too much faith in.
In his defense, I do think that there's probably a good chance that this interview or the stuff that this idea that it's a global warming movie is just stuff taken out of context.
I mean,
because we've seen that a lot.
I wasn't prepared, but we can talk about that privately. Like I think there is more. It probably sounds like I'm just like spewing some fucking right-wing bullshit, but no, I think there's some more validity to it. Because again, like you said, I haven't shut the fuck up about the movie. No, but to be honest, I've been following it to a T. I don't think it's gonna be what we're expecting. But anyway, man, thanks for having me on and all that.
Absolutely. And I know we're all going to be busy this weekend, but you've got plans to bring your live shows back soon, right?
Yeah, I do. I want to get my office that I'm sitting in right now a little bit more set up before I start. Yeah.
Me too.
You're a little bit more further on. All you can see is my sword in the background, but
I'm gonna be Middle Earth.
I'm gonna be getting some shelving units and gonna try to get all my Legos to. Actually, that's to end on that. I've got a box full of like 10 Lego sets that are being sent to me. It's going to be a disaster trying to get those.
Where are they being sent from?
From California.
Okay, it's not Florida.
No.
Okay.
But dude,
I thought Matt might have sent you a bunch of Legos.
When I say a box, it's a mover box with like 10 sets jammed into it. Like
Have they already been built?
Yeah, but I'm sure. Yeah, they're all made.
Not for long.
And I don't remember where the fucking. I think I left the bag with all the instructions in there. I hope.
It's okay. The website has all of the instructions.
That's what I figured. But yeah, no, I'm gonna get everything set back up. But yeah, man.
And then we'll start some more Lego streams because Lord knows I got plenty of Lego sets.
We will, and I'm gonna be buying the Jordica, the R2, and probably a couple more sets because there are a few of them that I really want. I'm actually very tempted to buy the new Lord of the Rings one too, but that's a lot of money. I know. I do want that set though.
Yep. The good thing for me is I get a paycheck right in the middle of the period for that set.
It's a nice looking set, man.
And coming in real hot, a Wicked Virtue with a $3 super sticker. Thank you so much. We need to play Pirates again soon. I can't wait to come back to the History of Pirates podcast. You're just sitting over there smiling in the dark. But yeah, I think that I was going to go with the Gina Carano answer to Disney's motion to dismiss, but it's an hour 49, and that would take probably another hour. So I will maybe save that. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow after work and talk about it. But everyone have a good night. God bless. And I hope everyone feels good.
Thanks, Caleb.